Good evening, everyone. My name is Demelia, and I've had an abortion.
My name is Brittany, and I've had an abortion.
So thank you for tuning in to the A Word this evening. Today we'll be talking about kind of giving you an update on what we've been doing as an org and as a leadership group. We just attended a conference, and we also will be, I guess, the basis of tonight's show will be about media and like what the social influence on reproductive expression. So we're gonna have like the family's perspective, hip hop,
television, news broadcasters.
Right. So please call in if you have a comment, question, want to jump in a debate, whatever. Call in. Okay. So I guess you want to start off by talking about our experience at the Sister Song Let's Talk About Sex conference. It was just held, what was it, 13th through 19th or something like that?
No, 14th through 17th.
14th through the 17th, sorry. In Miami. Beautiful hotel. Everything was nice. Like, the conference overall was amazing. It was my first one. That was what?
My second.
Your second one?
Yeah.
We had a ball. We loved it. We learned so much. It was so many workshops, so many informative things. It was just overwhelming. It was a lot.
One of my favorite workshops was about the Brown Boy Project. You can just Google them, because I can't really tell you everything they're about. There's just so much going on with them, but it's the Brown Boy, and it's BOI Project, and basically they're a community of transgender or non-conforming people that just pretty much want to uplift transgenders and help people discover their masculinity and not how that's just not always for men and things like that. So another one I really enjoyed was about sexual violence and domestic violence, and how the domestic violence movement should really connect with the reproductive justice movement, because all of those things intersect. With the sexual violence, there was things going on with husband and wife, and the wife didn't even consider it any type of abuse against her own body, because she thought, I belong to him, so everything is okay for him to do. So I really enjoyed
about that too.
Yes,
we did do a show about that,
and there's going to be another one coming soon, so check out our blog or something.
She went to those. We had, so I guess the behind the scene piece is we have all these different workshops that goes on at the same time, so you have to like pick and choose which one you want to go to. So we kind of like strategize, like, okay, you do those, I'm gonna do these. And so the one I went to was one on breastfeeding, and that was really, really interesting to me, and how reproductive expression was displayed in that workshop was very interesting, because it was a woman there with her child. I don't think it was a part of the workshop per se, but she started breastfeeding her son, and so she explained to us how she went into a store and they asked her to leave because she was breastfeeding. So we talked about like the laws surrounding that, and just
how everyone always,
how it's an issue, and it's like it's breastfeeding,
and they make it into the sexual act or something.
Yeah, it was really interesting, and like how you supposed, like the proper way to breastfeed your child, and the myths associated with it, and
the lack of it in the black community.
Yeah,
how most of the time it's really not an option that's shoved down your throat like other things, like wicked.
They don't even explain to us how to do it, or that it's an option. They just push Similac.
Or whatever the milk is now, I don't know.
That you have to pay for.
Yeah.
And it's like, you would think it would be a no-brainer, right? Breastfeeding is free. And you could do that. You don't have to pay for anything, but I guess. But it was a really interesting workshop.
Nonetheless.
So one of the other ones that kind of sparked today's topic was one of our other leadership group members, Nicole. She attended this one, but it was the title is called Bad Chicks, Busted Babies, and Abortion. And so if anybody is familiar, those are like titles to songs, like the more recent songs. But it was pretty much how hip-hop's influence on reproductive expression. So we kind of tweaked that topic and added just general media and the social influence on reproductive expression that it has on people. And so to kick that off,
we wanted to talk about the billboards, which we've talked about on our show before in our blogs and everything, but that's a huge example of how the media tries to portray especially a black woman's choice. Anyone that's low income or marginalized, they put those billboards in certain communities, predominantly on the south and west side, and just really torn down communities. And basically they're trying to say that we're bad. And
yeah, and I guess like the problem that comes with it is the wording of the billboards, how like, you know, black children are an endangered species, or, you know, it's the most dangerous place in the world. You know, like the way they word it makes it seem like it's a terrible thing or it's a bad thing. And so for someone who doesn't know anything about abortion, has never heard of it, doesn't know what it is, this is being kind of like pushed in your face. So it kind of influences how you feel about abortion. And so, which is really interesting, because what was he talking about earlier? Well, we get to that later.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I want to say that later.
But that's kind of juicy. But yeah, and so I guess that's one aspect of how media influences a woman's perspective, or people's perspective on abortion or reproductive health in general. Another example was kind of going back to what they talked about in the conference at the workshop, was hip-hop and the lyrics to some rap songs. So there has been several artists, both current and in the past, who've made songs either pertaining to abortion, about abortion, or their experiences in general with it. One that they had was, I know they talked about Lauryn Hill's Zion. Can we talk about a little bit about that one?
And with that one, if you're not familiar with the song, basically she's just saying that she chose to carry a pregnancy to term. She chose to have her child, and she had a son named him Zion. But some of the lyrics in the song, she's saying that her circle and people around her are saying, what about your career, and use your head, and, you know, what about your future, career, music, and all those things. But she said she chose to use her heart. So she didn't listen to what everyone else was saying. And even though she carried the pregnancy to term, you know, we always support whatever that woman chooses. So, I mean, clearly there's, like, influence there. They tried to influence her and say, oh, the money, or our group, because, you know, she was really the breadwinner. And she chose to do what she wanted to do, but people still tried to influence her and deter her from other things. So that's one example. That is.
I'm going to read over the list that they have of all the various artists and the titles of the song, and if you're interested, you could take note of it. Yeah, Google it, take note, listen to it, and see how their perspective on the issue is. So one was Abortion by Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew, Warm Sentiments by Arrested Development, The Unseen by the Ghetto Boys, and then Brenda's Got a Baby by Tupac, the infamous Brenda's Got a Baby, Retrospective by Common Sense, Hate It or Love It by The Game, Runaway Love by Ludacris, The Resistance by Drake, and some female artists that have done songs about it is Daddy's Little Girl by Nikki D, Zion, like we talked about, by Lauryn Hill, What's Going On by Remy Ma, Autobiography by Nicki Minaj, and Please Mommy Let Me Live by SKG. So let me flash her. That number that you see right here, 312-663-0338, you could call, and if you have any questions about today's topic or concerning the work we do, our organization, whatever the case may be, you need to a list in detail of these songs, or me to repeat it, call, and then we can get that information to you. So I'm not going to go into all the songs and how what the message was. I know one, the first one I mentioned, Abortion by Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew. That one, the song itself is called Abortion. I believe, I don't know how long it was out, but they took it off the airways at that point. But he's pretty much saying in the song that how was those lyrics? Like the chorus is, you know, he keeps on saying abortion, 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 and then his point is pretty much like, you sat at home and you're lazy, you're mad because this man got you pregnant, and you know we all born in sin. We're all born, you know, in sin, and so now you're committing double sin, and yeah, just kind of bashing the woman for making a decision to have an abortion because he felt like she should do it. And he was some of the lyrics were saying how God, how was the lyrics? If God didn't want you to have a baby, then you know, it wouldn't have been possible and you wouldn't have got pregnant. And so it was some bizarre lyrics. And I was like, wow.
And I just want to glance over the year. That was 86, right?
Yep.
And we all know how powerful, especially hip-hop, because everyone tries to imitate, everyone wants to be a hip-hop artist. And just thinking back then in 86 when hip-hop was just real hip-hop and they tried to get that message out, how powerful that was for him to be putting out, right, to be putting out something like that and targeting especially us, your own community, like the influence that has on people. So, I mean, some of these songs are just crazy. But the Brenda's Got a Baby by Tupac, for me, that was pretty much showing, and he was just pretty much telling you, like, basically how this whole epidemic of these teen pregnancies and everything just started and how the effects of it and all the different backgrounds of how someone couldn't have got pregnant, like she was being molested by her uncle or family member, whatever the case was. But it wasn't just, oh, I was laying down having sex and I'm protected and this is what happened, because that song, that story, that happens every single day on every single block. I don't care what block you live on. I mean, that happens. And he was trying to bring it to light, and I love that song. By the way.
Also, join the topic, please. The debate is call in. It's 312-738-1060. So call in and pose a question, a comment. Maybe you were familiar with that song or you heard it when it was out on the radio. I wasn't. I was a little too young.
Right.
I wasn't. But right, and it kind of brings me into I was talking to Brittany earlier how I saw for the first time it was an old episode of Sex in the City, and so we have a caller. Hold on. Caller.
Hi, I just wanted to know, like, do you guys think that because you do the work that you do, that you're more aware of, you know, what the media portrays, and how do you feel about, like, these songs that you're listed not being, like, public, like, on radio airplay?
Could you repeat the question? Sorry.
I said I want to know, how do you guys think that because you do the work that you do, are your eyes more open to what the media is trying to push, and how do you feel about these songs that you guys have listed not getting, like, major radio airplay?
Good question, Nicole. That was actually kind of what we was going to go into a little bit later, because that is an issue. I feel like we are more, it's more in our face because we do this work and we are abreast on a different, like whether it be bills or, like, for example, the billboard, we were on that, and a lot of people in the community didn't even know about it until they walked past that liquor store or that abandoned building and saw it. So I will say it is